Hello, everyone. I hope everybody can hear me. So, let me just say, excuse the hair rollers, please. I really would have waited to make this video, but this is a really important topic to me, and so I did not want to wait because I'm going to post a video that Tucker Carlson recently did that I watched, and it's super duper important. Um, Now, Tucker Carlson, he is highly controversial. A lot of people don't like him, and if you don't, then you just don't. If you do, you do. I watch Tucker and a lot of other people that I don't necessarily agree with a lot of stuff that they subscribe to, but I like to be as well informed as I can, so I watch often a lot of people that I disagree with on different levels. So I'm going to try to make this video short. Um, People who know me know I can get a bit long winded, but I'm going to try not to, and I'm going to just try to keep it to what I'm on here to talk about. This is very important to me. Now, um, I don't even know how to start. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people have heard about chemtrails, or either they know about chemtrails. Now, our government says that people who believe about chemtrails are conspiracy theorists, but these days and times they're calling everybody a conspiracy theorist that doesn't necessarily subscribe to what the government is saying. So take it however you like. I'm going to talk about chemtrails. The I guess the professional name for it that they can't dispute is called geoengineering, or I've written down some stuff. Let me see. It's called solar radiation management, as well as geoengineering. Now, chemtrails are those white things that those white lines that look like clouds, but it's in a straight line most of the time. That after a plane has flown through a particular area, you see those white lines that look like a line of clouds going across the sky. So it can either come from a commercial plane or I don't know, just a regular private small kind of airplane that a person may fly to just like dust their crops or whatever. You know what I mean. So we all see this. I think we all see it. If anybody pays attention to the sky, we see these trails in the sky often after an airplane comes through or whatever. And most of the time, these trails or whatever, they stay in the sky a long time after the airplane is gone. And if you're like me, I live in a rural area. So it's a lot of farming in the area that I live in. And so there are people that fly airplanes to do whatever they need to do to their farms or whatever. And I'll see them flying across the sky. They'll leave a trail of what looks like smoke or clouds in a straight line. And then they'll go around and they'll come back again. And they'll go around and come back. And then sometimes you'll see a big commercial airliner or something like that. It'll come through. And before you know it, you go in your house, you come back out in the evening, and you've got these lines all through the sky. So I'm just saying that to say that over most states all over the country, it's happening. Now, of course, I don't live in all states, but I've seen other people talk about this as well. So it's not just my state. So I pay attention to everything. So, I garden and whatnot. I grow plants and vegetables and stuff like that. And I try to do it every year. And what I've noticed, I guess if I go back about, I don't know, somewhere between 5 to 7 years or whatever, I've noticed that I don't have as many bees that get in my squash and zucchini blossoms anymore like I used to. Like I used to have a hard time going out there and actually getting my squash and zucchini and whatnot, cucumbers and things like that, because of the bees that would be hidden down inside of the blossom. So you have to be careful. So over the years, I've seen it just like dwindle down. And in like the last 2 years, through the whole spring and summer, I may see just a few bees I can count on one hand coming around my garden. And a lot of time, the squash is way smaller than it has been in prior years. And the poor zucchini, it's smaller, or either it will just die on the vine before, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to leave it on so it'll get bigger. And before it ever gets bigger, it'll start to deteriorate on the vine. So I wind up just having to cut it off and throw it in the field. So I'm just like, okay, something's going on. And I use, sometimes I use the fertilized soil. Sometimes I use some soil that has manure mixed in it, in my garden. And things like that. But those things used to would help. Like, my mom or anybody can tell you, like, my vegetables used to be like, I used to have sweet potatoes that are like this long and this big around. And my squash and zucchini were humongous. They would be like this long, this big around. I mean, now my squash are like this long and they're like this big. And some every once in a while I get a good size zucchini and squash, but I'm thankful, to God be the glory, no matter what size it is, as long as my garden is producing. But I've said all that to say that this geoengineering and solar, what is it called? Solar radiation management, this stuff, they are releasing chemicals into our air, which, you see those people when you go in, you go in Walmart, you go in the drugstore, the grocery store, you go somewhere, you go in a Target or wherever, you see those people that are wearing a mask, and you're like, excuse me, why are these people still wearing masks? Like, COVID is over. Why are they still wearing masks? That is why these people are wearing masks, is because they know that our air is absolutely dangerous. And this geoengineering, this solar radiation management, it's not only damaging our air, but it's damaging our soul. If it's damaging our soul, it's damaging our water. So they are actually releasing chemicals like aluminum and magnesium at large scale that is just tearing up the air and the soil. A lot of these chemicals, they're even releasing. I'm not sure what this is because I haven't. This is one thing I haven't researched yet. But some of y'all who are smarter than me would have heard of this. Nanoplastics. They're releasing that into the air. And these are super fine particles that sometimes they're like as small as dust. These nanoplastics are even smaller than the aluminum and magnesium, different other chemicals that they're releasing into the atmosphere. And these chemicals that they're releasing into the atmosphere, they also have the potential to be able to change our weather. So, which if you're a person like me, uh, I love the news. all news. Even if I disagree with it, I listen to it. That's one thing I miss about my dad. God rest his soul. We used to would debate about anything that was in the news. But anywho, that's getting off track. Um, so nanoparticles, this stuff is so dangerous. So experts are saying, people that study soil and the atmosphere, they're saying that they are finding nanoplastics that have crossed the brain barrier. They're finding it in people's like lungs and in their brain when they're doing, I guess, MRIs or CT scans or whatever have you. Like, this is super dangerous. So, another thing that I noticed, so that's one, the people that are wearing the mask, even when it's not cold and flu season. Some people, they just live by wearing a mask, and I'm just like, understand. And so when I see the planes, around in the air, I go to take my dog out or whatever I'm doing. I just come on back in the house and I just wait a while. But this stuff has the potential to stay in the atmosphere as long as you see the line or the trail of cloud or whatever it is. It has the potential to stay in the air that long. And so, and I'm not saying any of this to scare anybody. I'm just saying that, or you should fear this. I'm just saying this to make people aware that may not know about it. Like, this stuff is highly dangerous, and you think, why would they do that? Well, they think that they are fighting climate change, but actually, what they're doing is they're even worsening. Like, some people don't believe in climate change, and I'll tell you, I was one of those people that don't really believe in climate change. But when you think of the stuff that they're doing to our air and our atmosphere and our environment, these things have an effect on the climate. So, take that however you want. So, that's one thing, about the bees. And anybody that is in a rural area around farms and stuff, you see people that sell local honey and stuff like that. These people will tell you that the bee population has dwindled down. It's almost nil. And I'm telling you, bees are very important, not just for honey, but for your crops. Certain things need to be pollinated. Bees do that. And so, what these people are doing that are dropping these chemicals, they're literally dropping sickness and death in our atmosphere. So I'm not going to go off on a tangent about that. One other thing I want to say, that people, if you're paying attention, you must have noticed this, that I guess in the past 5 to 10 years, living in a country area, um, you know, it's like you used to would have all these bugs that would be flying into the grill of your car and on your windshield. And I've said this to my husband, like, do you remember, like, when we used to would wash our car? We still wash our car, but I'm saying when we used to would wash our car, it would be dead bugs all in the grill. We live deep in the sticks and have for a long time. And it's like we would have bugs stuck all in our grill, on our windshield, but especially in the grill. And now we're even deeper in the sticks, and it's like one or two bugs when you haven't washed your car. Like, I don't care for washing my car, so I may wash my car for a whole summer myself. I may wash it personally myself, maybe once or twice. 2 times is like, most likely just once. But go through the drive-through. My husband, he does that. Whatever. That's off the subject. But I'm saying, so you can see the difference if you pay attention. There's literally no more bugs, hardly at all, stuck in the grill. So that is saying that, where are the insects? As much as I don't like bugs, we need bugs for whatever their purpose is. We need them. So where are they? So that's two things that I just wanted to just point out, that if you pay attention, people, I know people that are country like me in my area that they farm and whatnot. They know that the bees and stuff that come around whatever you're growing or farming, you have to know they've dwindled down to basically nil. And as well as people that live in the sticks like me, you see there's basically no bugs in the grill when you go to wash your car or your truck or whatever. And then on top of that, these people that are wearing the mask, and you're like, what is wrong with them? Like these people have a phobia or something. But no, these people actually know what's going on and that our air is so unsafe. The soil and the water is horrible. So I said all that to say that I'm going to drop a Tucker Carlson video, and he is talking with an expert, and they're talking about chemtrails. And, you know, you may watch it, you may not, but it's very informative. And so, what I did after watching it, I went to I had to write it down because I am getting a little over the hill. So, I went to the congress.gov website to look up all of my officials. So now I know who the governor is, and what's his name, Tom Tillis and Ted Budd. They're the senators. And the House of Representatives, you can go on the congress.gov website and you can find your representative for your area. And that's what I did. When you get on their picture, you can click on their link, their hyperlink, and it'll give you their information. They have an email address. Shoot them an email and ask them to stand against this harmful practice of geoengineering and what is it called? Solar radiation management. Now, this is, I'm hyped up about it because it's super important. I have kids and grandkids. So, like, I just want their future to be as bright as it can be. But when the government is allowing and incentivizing people to do these types of things, their future don't look so bright. They need us. They don't know anything except for, I don't know, TikTok and I don't know, Instagram if that's still something, Facebook. I'm going to post this on Facebook even though I don't want to, but I'm going to because it's important. And I'm going to post the link for Tucker's show, and I hope people will listen to it. If only one person listened to it and contacts their representatives and their senators, then that will be enough. I hope more people will, but most people don't care about what's going on today. So what I did was went to congress.gov and found my representatives for my area, and I sent them emails and asked them to stand against these harmful practices of geoengineering and solar radiation management. They know our state is a rich agricultural state. I mean, for goodness sake, North Carolina A&T University is for agriculture and whatever it's for. So I'm saying, so I said all that to say that Tennessee and Florida have already banned this geoengineering and solar radiation management across their airspace. They have went and through the litigation for their states, Florida and Tennessee, and had it banned. That means that other states have the potential to do it as well. So that's why I said I reached out to my representatives and the senators and the governor and sent them emails and asked them to stand against this. Because now I should make it clear that there are 38 states that I learned from watching the Tucker interview that have some type of ongoing litigation or whatever. So they may be in the process of trying to get this banned or some sort of compromise or something. I don't know. I don't know if North Carolina is one of those 38 states. I didn't care to look it up. I just cared to reach out to my people and say, hey, I know about this. I know other states have banned it. I know some states have litigation. I don't know if our state is one, but I want you to stand against this. You know, if you're like me and you have kids and grandkids, then they should at least have a fair shot. They may not have the best shot, but give them at least a fair shot. If you're doing stuff like this, you make their future look dim. So I can get long winded about that. That's basically all I wanted to say. And let me just make sure. And I thought about it's a Bible verse. I don't know the verse right now because I got so many thoughts going on. I don't know the exact verse, but it says something like the whole of creation is waiting for the sons of God to stand up, basically. I'm putting that in my own words. But when it says the sons, I would like to believe that includes the daughters too. So the creation moans and groans. It's waiting on the sons and daughters of God. You think, why is creation moaning and groaning and waiting on the sons and daughters of God? Because look at what the demons, sorry, not sorry, are doing to the creation. So I'm going to leave it there. God bless you all. If you don't reach out and contact none of your representatives or the governor or whoever, at least pray against these harmful practices because it's affecting every one of us. These nanoparticles and whatnot, these nanoplastics, you hear people saying they're in the water, they're in the drinks. Well, this is why it's in everything because they're releasing it in the air. Everything in the air hits the ground at some point. When it hits the ground, that's in your soil, water, and everything. So I'm gonna post this first, and then I'm gonna post the Tucker interview. God bless y'all. Stay safe. Learn as much as you can. This is an evil, wicked time we live in. Stay prayed up.